Welcome to the One of a Kind Financial Show Daily with your host, Mike Milligan. It's Thursday, December 11th, 2025. 17 years ago was a dark time. We were living through the financial crisis. We didn't know if it was going to be a depression. We didn't know what it was going to do to our financial system. In the heat of the moment, there was so much stress and anxiety because Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac had failed. Bear Stearns went away, one of the stalwarts of Wall Street, right? And on this day, back then, it was the official arrest of one of the notorious people during that time, Bernie Madoff. We recently, on the One of a Kind Financial Show, we talked about the fallout from the Madoff case, how it shook the country in mid-December of that year, and it's how it still carries an important message for investors today. We broke down what actually went wrong and the practical steps you can take to protect yourself through transparency and process. It's a segment, right, that I want to relive again with you guys. Because if you're going to trust somebody with your money, you better know that they are trustworthy. I want you to be one of a kind. And until tomorrow, have a great day.
We're focusing on one of the most infamous financial events in modern history. Mike, take us back to mid-December 2008. Wow.
Man, I was 32 years old. I was... we were in the thick of it right then, right? Bear Stearns had failed. Merrill Lynch had become Bank of America. Fannie and Freddie had, we were in the crisis. I mean, and people just didn't know what in the world was going on, folks. And we thought that we didn't know if it was going to be, November of 1929 all over again. And we were all scared. I mean, like everybody that was active in the industry had been in the industry for 10 years at that point in time. And we were just at amazed at what was going on. But December 11th, 2008 was Bernie Madoff's official arrest. But on December 13th and 14th, those were the days the public fallout erupted. There were press briefings, SEC interviews. Families realized they had been affected. The shockwaves hit the entire financial industry. And it wasn't because people took too much risk. It's because they trusted the wrong person.
Mm-hmm. So what made the Madoff scandal so destructive, Mike?
Well, the interesting part is that, they were forging statements, right, in the name of compliance, right? They were returns on those statements were too consistent, right? Listen, you can get consistent returns from things like annuity products or like a 6%, return for 5 years. It's a product that's out there right now. 5-year, multi-year guaranteed for 6%, and you're going to get that every year. But like when you're at risk in the market, when you have money in the stock market, like Bernie Madoff was telling people they had, that's a red flag if you're getting the same return every year. And then clients didn't fully understand what they were invested in. See, Bernie Madoff was a man about New York City. Right, he was often seen at Knicks games and Yankee games. Mm-hmm. Right, he was out and about at the biggest events. He was at governor balls and New York City mayor events. Right, his reporting though was not transparent also, and there was no independent third-party custody or verification. It exposed how important due diligence is, not just for advisors but for clients too.
Mm-hmm. So in plain English, what should listeners be paying attention to, Mike?
Well, a few things, right? They should understand the strategy that they're invested in. If you don't understand it, ask. There is literally, folks, there's no dumb question when it comes to your money. And if an advisor makes you feel dumb, you've got the wrong advisor in your corner. You should know who the custodian is. The big names, companies like Fidelity, and Charles Schwab and Pershing. Is your money held directly at a mutual fund account like American Funds or Capital Bank and Trust or BlackRock or T. Rowe Price or even Vanguard, right? Money shouldn't be held, right, by the same person given the advice. It should not be like Mike Milligan does not hold clients' assets. One Oak Financial does not hold assets. We are advisors as investment advisor representatives. We are agents when we work with insurance companies, And our biggest, though, is that we're fiduciaries when it comes to building the plan. But we will always hold money in reputable institutions. You should expect, if you're in the market fluctuation. It happens. Most of the time, more than half the time or more, the market is up, but the market also goes down. As one of our great listeners, who's, I can't give his name, but I can give his first letter of his name begins with a J. He says the markets go up, the markets go down, right? And so he's 100% accurate. He's a philosophizer, right, about investment returns. But you also should pay attention to transparency, regular statements, clear reporting. Insurance companies give statements once a year. Investment companies like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, American funds, either quarterly or monthly, right? But and most of all, when it comes to investment money at risk, we never talk about guarantees. We talk about process planning and evidence-based decision-making. Now, annuities may have some guarantees. CDs may have guarantees. But on an investment platform, you don't talk about guarantees.
Right. Absolutely. The show is the One-of-a-Kind Financial Show with Mike Milligan. I'm Gary Nolan, your consumer advocate. I want to thank you for joining us this weekend, spending some time with us. I want to get you on the calendar. Maybe you have a question or two about today's show. Mike be happy to talk to you about that as well. Or get yourself all set up with that one-of-a-kind financial plan. 800-748-1838. 800-748-1838, or text the word IDEAS to 600-700. Mike's going to be mending the phones himself. Mike is with One Oak Financial. One more time on the phone number, 800-748-1838, or text the word IDEAS to 600-700. And this is why you emphasize process so strongly at One Oak. Am I right, Mike?
Yeah, when we talk about building a one-of-a-kind financial plan, we focus on a structured, repeatable planning process. See, we don't believe everybody should have the financial plan. Everybody should not have the same exact financial plan. You all are unique. You're one of a kind, folks. But our process has to be repeatable. We're going to ask you why money's important to you. We're going to get to know you, your goals, your missions, your values, right? We're going to build a vision for your retirement called Retirement Chi. We're then going to analyze taxes, retirement income, investments, long-term care, and legacy. And then we're going to come back and we're going to review it. We're going to use independent custodianship, like Fidelity, Schwab, insurance companies, right? And then we're going to have compliance oversight. If you listen to the show, at every break, we have a compliance statement that Mike Milligan is an investment advisor rep with Advisory Alpha LLC. That Ideas by Mike doing business as One Oak Financial is not, is an unaffiliated entity. We keep compliance in our company a wall in the middle. So you have oversight from an independent third party overlooking your money. And then we make sure that clients understand they have a plan. We want people to know how their plan works, not just say that they have one.
So, tell us a little more about the one-of-a-kind financial plan, Mike, as we wrap up this segment. Great segment, by the way.
Absolutely. The one-of-a-kind financial plan has human element to it, right? And that's what people forget. The one-of-a-kind financial plan is not about investments going up and going down, right? The Madoff scandal was not about that either. It was about trust being broken. We want to build trust with you. The one-of-a-kind financial plan is our process to help you get the return you need for the life you want to live. Pay the taxes that are appropriate so you're not overpaying. Create an income that you can outlive, a long-term care plan that brings dignity, and a legacy plan that says, I love you. Guys, Madoff's scandal shook us all. Guys, with us, we take it slow. When you hear me, when you talk to me one-on-one, you're going to realize that trust is one of the most important things that I want to have with you. Our team wants to build that with you. So give us a chance. Call us so we can build a one-of-a-kind financial plan for your one-of-a-kind life.
And that phone number is 800-748-1838, 800-748-1838, or text the word IDEAS to 600-700.
I hope you enjoyed that segment of the One-of-a-Kind Financial Show. We're found weekly on WINS and WTAR in Norfolk, Virginia, and on AM in Midland, Odessa area in Texas. And anywhere you find your podcast. I want to remind you that I, Mike Milligan, am an investment advisory rep with Advisory Alpha LLC. Ideas by Mike, doing business as One Oak Financial, is an unaffiliated entity to Advisory Alpha LLC. All opinions expressed on this mini podcast and on the One of a Kind Financial Show, radio show, are just of that. The opinions are mine and Gary's. We're here to provide educational content for you, but remember, as always, consult a licensed financial professional before making any decisions. Any tax advice references Social Security Administration should refer to the Social Security Administration, and tax advice should be reserved for the IRS website, and also consult a qualified tax advisor before making any tax decisions.